Yeah. Yeah. Guess who came back with a large fucking fist to eat the Brooklyn blast furnace? I brought your ugly bitch with me. Your shit is sus. Ain't nobody trying to hear you talk. When Jimmy's on the mic, they take your whack shit and turn it off. It's real life, not them stories that you punks say. He made it out alive, and he's relatively unscathed. So subscribe to the podcast and share the post and tell your stupid friends to do the same. You heard it here from Coast.
We're up. You said you were ready.
I'm ready.
Nice. Another episode. I don't even know how many episodes total at this point. It's got to be close to 400 of the Brooklyn Blast Furnace. Yeah, of the Brooklyn Blast Furnace. Yeah, I mean, I started this shit, I don't even know, 2017 or something like that. I did like 6 years and then I killed it for 2. Now I'm back for about a year now. But
nice.
Yeah, but I don't do it weekly anymore. Too much other things going on. How are you? If people don't know, this is my friend, super talented photographer, business owner, Danielle Dombrowski.
Don't make me blush.
Oh, whatever. What was I just gonna say? Because you just threw me off. Yeah, we tried to do this several times over the past like month or so. And things just kept happening, whether it was the holidays or work or whatever. And then I got sick and then I was super busy, but we're finally here. I knew we would eventually do it. Yeah. How you been?
So you got your...
going on? How have you been? What's going on in Danielle's world in upstate New York?
Oh gosh. So we're getting a snowstorm now.
Are you getting
which is
hit
pretty
right now?
cool.
There's only like a half inch right now in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they said like up to 9 at first, and all day it was snowing, and we had like an inch maybe, and now we have probably like 3. So
9 inches. Well, you're up. Where are you again? You're not far from Middletown, right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Just about 10 minutes north.
So exit what off of 17?
16.
Exit
The
16.
Bloomingburg exit. 116.
116. Okay, because
yeah,
used to have a house exit 104 off of 17B.
Is that the Monticello exit?
That's the Monticello racetrack exit. Yeah, but it's maybe 10 miles in once you get off of that exit. You go way past.
So by Bethel Woods then?
Exactly 2 miles from the original Woodstock site, which is Bethel.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it there. For those listening, if you have not seen a concert there yet, you have to get up there. It's just an absolutely beautiful location.
You know what's crazy is that my parents had that house up there. They bought that house in 1987. And at that time, it was just land. There was no museum. There was no concerts going on. It was just empty land. There was the monument there, the Woodstock monument. The marker was there, but nothing was going on there. And then, which is really cool that they redid the whole place and they planted trees and then they put the whole Bethel Woods Museum. And I've been there probably 3 or 4 different times. Recently, I went up there with my daughter. And then about a month before that, I was up there with Michael Alago. And then before that, a few other times with other people. But I've never actually seen a concert that they've ever.
I was just going to ask that.
I've never, but they have great people that they have great bands and stuff like that all throughout the summer. But I did go. It's not very talked about, but because it gets pushed under the rug because of other Woodstock events. But at the I believe it was the 25th anniversary of the actual Woodstock. So it was August of '94. They did have like this big event there, but it wasn't like it wasn't like the bands that played like Sawgerties in '94. It wasn't like Primus, and it wasn't those. It was like I think like Arlo Guthrie, who played the original, showed up, and it was like local hippie bands and stuff like that. That I went to, but that's the only concert that I've ever been on that list.
I finally I've been trying for years to shoot there, and I finally got to shoot my first concert there this year.
Who was it?
Megadeth.
Really?
Yeah.
Megadeth played up there. You know what? Now that you say that, I vaguely remember that Megadeth actually played up there.
It was actually, it was a really good show. They have for bands like that, they have great lighting there.
Sure.
So I got some amazing shots.
People hate on
And it was a
Megadeth.
fun
I'm a
night.
fan. People hate on Megadeth. I don't know why, but I love that band.
I was a little disappointed that he had a fresh haircut though, because that's what I do. So that's what I look at.
Oh
But
my God.
his ends were like all like neat and freshly cut.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they sounded great. The place is just awesome for concerts. I've seen so many people there through the years, so many icons of classic rock. I saw the Who there. That was the last concert I saw with my father there, and that was on Memorial Day 2 years ago. That was an absolutely amazing concert. I've seen Heart, and God, I could just go on and on and on. Like pretty much every big name classic rock band, it's still around now. Yeah. It's still around and together and playing.
Yeah, every year, because I'm still friends with a couple of people that own houses in the community where we had the house, and his name is Scott. And every summer, I think like every weekend he goes to a concert there because it's literally 2 miles away. So
yeah,
like, all right, like show number one, and it'll be like this giant band. And I'll look, and I'm just like, they get incredible acts up there. Maybe this coming summer, I'm gonna have to make it my. Depending on who it is, though. I'm not gonna go just to go. It's got like if I would have known way in advance that Megadeth was playing, I probably would have went up there to go see that.
Yeah, they're already announcing some bands, some acts. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
that's all right.
There's a few there, but they've had some pretty big names there.
Yeah.
I know they had the strangest concert they had there that really doesn't fit the place was Limp Bizkit. And I have a lot of clients that volunteer up there, and they're kind of like not used to that stuff. So they said it really didn't go over too well.
If I would have known that, well, depending on how long ago that was, because my daughter loves Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
So if it was like this last year or 2 years ago, she would have been pissed if I would have told her and we wouldn't have went.
Yeah, it was. In fact, I think it was last year that they played there.
Really?
I think so.
All right, I won't tell her because she'll be like, "Dad, will you slap?" She would abuse.
Yeah. So, and who opened for them was, I guess, Corey Feldman's in a band.
Really?
Yeah.
So that dude. It's probably like the Corey Feldman band or Experience or something. That dude is out of his mind, man.
Let me look it up.
I don't understand.
Let me look it up now.
Like this whole Michael Jackson thing that he does with his, I almost get embarrassed for him. It's brutal.
Let's see what the name of it is.
Corey Feldman's band. Oh God, probably something. Insane.
In fact, I don't really see a name.
It's probably just Corey Feldman. Most likely.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess it's kind of funny. Everybody.
He's just like he's like a parody of himself. It's so over the top. It's something. It's fucking something. Right.
Yeah, according to this, it says Corey Feldman and band.
And see, I told you it's something terrible. I knew it. I knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, hey, you got to give him credit for still getting out there when people are laughing at him.
That guy doesn't give a shit about nothing. So I kind of like envy that. Like, yo, you don't give a fuck about anything, and you go up there and he kicks his leg like Michael Jackson, and he does these, and he can't dance very well. It's bad, but
yeah,
He goes up there and he don't give a shit. So I guess I have to respect that.
And another band that played there is I can't remember their name, but the band with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp.
Oh, the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah, they played there, and I didn't get to make it there. I was trying to shoot it, but it didn't work out. But I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I saw
pretty
them
packed.
once at the Coney Island Amphitheater several years back, probably 6-7 years ago at least at this point. And what's crazy is I went like live for like 30 seconds, and it just so happened that I had better footage than like the news, but that was the day, and I caught the moment where Joe Perry had a heart attack on stage at the Coney Island Amphitheater. And I didn't even realize it until like I heard, Joe Perry had a heart attack in Coney Island. I'm like, no way. So I just happened to look, and you see him like put his guitar down and like hold his chest, and he goes backstage. Like I had better footage than the news, but it was just too late. But yeah. I caught I don't even think I have it anymore. I think I deleted all that shit. But yeah, I caught the moment where Joe Perry had a heart attack. Weird.
Why would you delete that?
I don't know. Maybe I have it somewhere on my computer. I don't know. I went through a lot of stuff and deleted a lot of stuff from that time. So
I never understand that. I'm like, being a photographer, I archive everything.
Well, I archive a lot of stuff. I have a lot of things, but then there's certain people I get rid. There's certain people I just get rid of, and and it might have been a part of that whole chapter of my life that it probably just got caught up in the wave of deleting a bunch of shit. So
yeah,
I might have it. I don't know. I might have it. I might even have it like in an email or something. I sent it to myself in order to download. I don't know. Maybe I'll look.
What's going on with your book?
My book is done. My book is finished. It's just in the editing stage. It's been done. I've been done for months, but my book isn't the only one that my editor is editing. And plus, I handed him 753 pages, and then he was like, and then he said that he double spaced it just so it's easier for him to read, and it turned into like 1,300 pages.
Oof.
So yeah, I know. I have stories and things to talk about. So, but he's going through it. But there's like 5 stages of edits and stuff like that. He sent me back the first entire edit, but now it's a process. My heavy lifting pretty much is done. So I'm going through everything, what he's suggesting that we take out, because it's not going to be that long. And all said and done, if it's 400 pages in a regular size book, it'll probably be something like that.
Yeah. But people have been asking me to do a photo book.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Of my photos since 95. I don't know.
You first started in 95?
Yep.
So now let's just paint the picture real quick. What were you just always interested in like photography? Like
no, not at all. It just kind of fell into my lap. It was like a really weird situation. Like, so when I was in high school, I was like certain classes, I was a year ahead from being in honors in middle school and stuff. So by the time
you were smart.
Yeah, I was, I guess, if you want to put it in past tense. I'm not sure what happens.
Nice. Yeah, well, listen, I did dumb shit. I'm not stupid, but I always did stupid shit. Go ahead.
Age and stress, and I don't know. I guess so with some things I still feel smart, but others not so much.
Same.
But yeah, so by the time I got to be a junior, it worked out very well because I was taking cosmetology, which is like super awesome for any kids out there. If you can ever do vocational programs and save yourself some money after high school, it's like the best thing ever. Because now that cosmetology class is creeping up on $18,000
really
for 7 months worth of education. So anyway, so it takes up like half the day of school, and I only had 2 other classes. So I was going to have 3 study halls. So they insisted I pick an elective. So I was like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll take photography. And got my first camera, and that was it. Took
Was it
it
like this
2 years in a
35
row.
millimeter? Like was it like one of those?
Yeah, it was actually a Minolta X700, fully manual,
Do you still have it?
everything. Actually, I do not have the original one because I got robbed at a Hatebreed concert
Fuck.
back in I may be gonna say it was 96. Did you ever go to a show at this? I think it was called the Sports Palace
Nope.
in Waterbury, Connecticut.
No, I've never been to a hardcore show in Connecticut. Period.
Oh, back then, awesome.
I'm sure.
I spent every weekend in Connecticut or Massachusetts or New York City, like
Yeah.
or actually Poughkeepsie too in Newburgh. But I was back then when I didn't have, adult shit to take care of. I was going to two or three shows a week.
Oh yeah,
So,
back in the day was.
oh my God. And going to school full time and working full time. And I had two jobs because I worked at the college too that I went to, Sullivan County Community College. I ran the darkroom there and it paid for a good portion of my tuition. So I was up at school by like 7 a.m., setting up the darkroom, mixing the chemicals, all that kind of shit, and going to school till like noon, getting to work at 1 and working till 9 or 10 at night at the salon. So it was crazy. And then there were,
this is before you opened up your own salon.
yeah, I opened my own salon when I was 27. So, or 26. I don't know. I just had my 21-year anniversary on January 6th. Yeah. But thank you. I started doing hair when I was 17 in a salon. As soon as I graduated, I got my license within 2 months and first salon job. But it was with my second salon job that I was doing all that. But God, there were days where I would go right from work to a show, get home at like, 3, 4 in the morning, go to sleep for like 2 hours, get up and drive. It was almost an hour to school, go to work, come home, do homework, go to a show and do it all over again on like 2 hours sleep. I couldn't do that shit now.
Oh,
No way.
I would do all that stuff minus the school stuff, but you don't see him like the type, but I was heavily into like drinking and doing all kinds of other things. So it would be like a show, like it would be like for like on a Sunday, for instance, it would be like Sunday matinee at CB's, and then we're there all day, and then next thing you know, it's like Sunday night at the Limelight is Rock and Roll Church, and then like I don't know, Leeway is playing or some metal band is playing, and besides whoever cares who's playing, the Limelight on Sunday nights back in the early and mid 90s was insane. It didn't matter who played, you would just go there anyway. So it's like all day drinking, doing this, doing that. And then you go to the Limelight, you first walk in there at midnight on a Sunday. And then you walk out at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. And it's light.
And then go to work by 9.
And then go to work. And my boss would look at me and he'd just be like, he'd be like, your eyes are still like discs. I'm like, yeah, And I would do my job and I would do my whole shift. I would go home and I would crash for like 3-4 hours and then wake up and then do it all over again. Pick up the Village Voice who was playing, look in the back, and just do it all over again constantly for years. I don't know how. I have no idea how. Now, there's no way. I mean, I don't drink or anything. I'm completely sober, but there's no way. There's no way.
Yep.
Awesome. What's the name of the salon, by the way?
I don't really, it's not that I really don't like it, but it just kind of like happened because I was renting a chair in a salon and I needed a business name, for a chair renter license. So all the girls there did hair design by and then their name. Mm-hmm. So it's hair design by Danielle. Because when I opened my salon, I just transferred or changed the location on my business license.
But what's not to like about that? It's not.
I don't know.
You name it straightforward. This is it, and that's that.
I know. I have a girl that works for me. Her name is Danielle, and she's been with me for like 7 years. And it's so funny. I'm like, maybe when I retire, like you can buy it, and you don't have to change the name.
Yeah.
We're like thing one and thing two. We literally call her Danielle two.
2.0.
Yep.
So you wound up taking photography classes, and then it just sort of happened. And then I'm assuming that you just stumbled upon a hardcore show at some point or a metal show, and you decided to take pictures.
Actually, I was when I was going to BOCES, I became friends with kids from other schools. And one of my friends from my school was friends with some kids from Goshen, and they had a band called 99 Cents. It was like a local punk band. Not sure if you ever heard of them, but I guess they needed some like, promo pictures for something. And he was like, hey, my friend Danielle is taking photography. So I went and did that as just like a thing. And then they asked me to shoot them playing this show, and they opened for Biohazard at a place in Middletown that's no longer there. Now it's a Honda dealership, but it was Sportland.
Okay.
And it was like an arcade with a little stage in it, and kind of like a fun center. It was really a cool place. Sucks that it closed. They had air hockey tables and just shit like that. But it was a fun place. But so I went and I shot them, and that was my first show, I guess 30 years ago now.
Jesus.
And then I shot them a few times, and they opened for other bands, and somehow I just, the punk and hardcore scene is kind of like closely related. It crosses over.
Sure.
So I stumbled upon hardcore, made some friends in hardcore, and then that was it. I really started shooting more hardcore bands than anything.
Yeah. Did you take pictures of Biohazard that first night?
I didn't.
How dare you? Do you kick yourself in the ass for that?
Yeah. So the first time I actually shot Biohazard was that show at Irving last year, their reunion. And
that was the first time, really? After all,
it was the first time I shot Biohazard, and I ended up with a broken rib at that show.
Jesus Christ. But aren't you like in like either on the stage or because Irving Plaza has the barricade? So weren't you like in a barricade?
I was trying to shoot the drummer, and I had my arms up. And the bouncer guy, whatever you want to call him, the security was pulling a crowd surfer over the barricade, and he slipped off the thing, that they stand on.
Yeah.
And they both fell onto me, and my arms were up, and the stage was like yay high right at my rib, and they slammed me into the stage. I literally felt it crack, knocked the wind out of me.
Really?
But I still shot. That was the first song. When we get to shoot 3 songs, I still shot the other 2 songs.
Yeah.
And then I dragged my bag out and sat out front for the rest of the set until my friends that I went down with came out when it was over. That sucked.
Yeah. How many pictures did you wind up with?
I don't know. Probably like when we get to shoot 3 songs, it's not as many as normal when you shoot a full set, but
you have to go through them and whatnot. What's good?
Yeah, I mean maybe like 60 or 70, like that I saved
right
after. But they did come out good. I was happy with them.
Okay. I remember because I say this a lot, especially talking about like the book and stuff like that. And I've said this a lot, I feel like lately. I don't understand how I have such a good memory. It makes no sense, but I have a ridiculous memory. And I don't know what I ate yesterday, but certain things I remember like it happened yesterday. But I remember the first time that me and you actually met, and it was very, very brief.
Let's hear it.
It was brief, but you weren't working. You were not taking pictures, or at least if you were, then you weren't at the time when we met. But I had to do a little Google research to get the exact date, but I remember the show. But it was July 10th, 2009 at Terminal 5 at one of those 10 for 10 shows. Remember the 10
Really?
bands? Yes. It was one of those 10 bands for $10 shows. I don't know how that promoter probably lost his ass doing that. But you remember those shows, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, but who is playing?
That was because I wrote it down, or else I wouldn't have remembered. In no particular order, it was Crime in Stereo, Trapped Under Ice, Death Before Dishonor, Terror, Vision, Madball, and Poison the Well.
I'm
That's
pretty sure I would have.
that's eight bands, but so two other bands plus I don't know, but that's what
Yeah.
I found online. Yeah,
So I do think I shot Poison the Well there once. And when we get off here, I'll have to plug in my external drive with all my old photos and look.
yeah, that was July 10th, 2009 at Terminal 5.
That's crazy that that was 16 years ago.
That's insane.
Jesus.
Before my daughter was born, like Jesus Christ, my ex-wife was pregnant at the time. I just realized that. My daughter was born September 2009. But I was
Wow.
at Terminal 5 by myself. I don't know. It's like, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to a show. Yeah. Crazy. 16 years ago. But I remember those shows, and I don't understand how that promoter even did that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking, 10 bands. Madball alone in 2009. It's for $10 in a giant place like that. And that was a big
Yeah.
that tour was all over the country.
That's a really stacked lineup. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
They're all like headlining bands for the most part.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Poison the Well, of course. Madball, Vision. I mean, Dave, rest in peace. Terror. I mean, Terror headlines
Yeah.
all over the planet now. Death Before Dishonor, Trapped Under Ice, and Crime and Stereo, all headliners.
Wow.
Yeah. Funny. Craziness.
Was I there with my ex-husband? It probably was.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's a huge Trapped Under Ice fan.
Yeah. And I want to say that he kind of gave me like this look.
The side eye.
Yeah, but there was no reason, there was no reason for that. But listen, people, whatever. It's like whatever, dude. But yeah, it was brief. But I knew you as a photographer. Like I didn't know you obviously personally, but I met you. I was like, "Oh, how are you?" And I just like shook your hand. He was right there, so it wasn't even like
Yeah.
pocket. He kind of was probably like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
So there was a few years like I opened my salon in 2004. And not too long, maybe a year after that, like so I guess it was 2005 or 6-ish, I got really, really sick and I had a hard time for a while going to shows. I was like, I couldn't, I couldn't stand through it. I actually missed like 6 months of work. It was like just an awful time in my life. I was 28
This was
when I got
what
sick.
year? 2004, 2005.
I think, well, let me see. Let's do, yeah, because I'm going to be 48 in November this year. So yeah.
So about 4 or 5 years before I met you for the first time.
Yeah, so the few years prior to that, I was I not shooting nearly as many shows. Maybe like I skipped some for probably close to a year altogether. And then after that, I'm going to say like it was maybe one every few months because I just couldn't, I had no energy. I couldn't stand. It took me like a long ass time to somewhat recover. I'm still fighting it these days, but coming along. But then I was invited to shoot the Burning Fight Fest out in Chicago.
Okay.
And what that was in 2009, I believe.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's not
So
there, so it doesn't have like I don't have like a crazy memory,
yeah.
but I
And it was an awesome show and an awesome show, an awesome book. I have photos in it. Great people that set up that whole thing. And so I went and shot that show where I got a concussion, by the way. That was interesting.
You're like this big, so
I know.
So you
During Have Heart of all, because I had missed some time, and it was, I guess, around when Have Heart was like super huge, and I really didn't know their background, which I absolutely love them now. But at that show,
familiar. I know that they're a huge band, but for some reason they always flew under the radar for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. But anyway, during Have Heart, I actually met Sunny from Hate 5 6 at that show.
Okay.
and I shot it with Todd. I Have the Storm, Todd Pollock from Boston, who I've been shooting shows with from since '95. Great guy, great photographer.
Yeah.
Um,
I had a storm.
but
I've seen those photos.
yeah, so here I am next to Todd, and a stage diver comes, over my head, but his foot clipped my flash and slammed it into my head, ripped it off my camera. I literally got knocked out. For
Like how
just like a
cold?
split second.
Okay.
I think I did. I mean, Todd said he doesn't remember that, but I was on the floor and I remember opening my eyes and Todd was grabbing my flash and my batteries came out of it and stuff. And he was kind of like picking up my shit for me. So I got up and of course I put my shit together, continued to shoot, but I had like a massive headache the next couple of days of that fest, but I still shot the whole fest. But that was an amazing show. That was the first time I got to shoot Unbroken, which was really cool. It may or may not have been the first time I shot 108. Maybe not, because I actually knew Vic at that show. But I love shooting 108. They're just great people and a great live band. And Trial did a reunion thing there, and it was just the energy that Trial had. They're playing Tie Down Fest this year, which please, I'm praying I get to shoot because that is such an awesome fest. I got to shoot it last year, and they're putting together
Tie Down is where? Up in Detroit.
Detroit, yeah. So it was my first time shooting Tie Down and my first time to Detroit last year, and it was so awesome. And they just put up a little thing on their Instagram that they're putting together a photo team, and I had put in a request. So I'm hoping that I get to shoot it again because Trial is playing.
Well, listen, you've been around for 30 years. Obviously, I mean, I'm not saying nothing that you don't already know. You could be as humble as you want, whatever. But people know who you are. I mean, people know your photography. You're all over the place all the time. You know what I mean? Like I see you in Brooklyn, like we're standing on the stage at Black and Blue and Bane and this and that. But like you're like, I'll look and like next thing you know, you're at Tie Down Fest, you're down at FYA Fest, you're down in Florida, you're in Detroit, you're all over the place doing this stuff. So if they are like they see you and they're like, yeah, nah, we're not gonna have her, like that's a jerk off move. Like there's no reason why you should not be on that photo team. Especially
I hope. Yeah, it seems like I really like shooting fests now. It's just become a thing because it's just very easy to shoot. Or I guess it's a good way, I should say, to shoot a lot of bands that I wouldn't maybe have an opportunity to shoot otherwise. Maybe from like they always have some bands from Europe that I haven't seen. Like FYA had a couple this year that I've never even heard of. And I was like, wow, they were actually pretty cool, pretty nice guys.
Yeah.
So it's just neat. It's, people from California and Texas and everything, like friends from all over the country in one place. It's just a super awesome thing to be able to shoot a fest. Like I love shooting This Is Hardcore. It's always my favorite time of year. Yeah. And now FYA. And if I get to shoot Tie Down regularly, that would be awesome. I'm hoping maybe to do someday Sound and Fury and maybe the one in Louisville. What is that one? I can't think of it right now. My brain is fried from house remodeling.
Yeah. Yeah, FYA always looks fun. The only thing I've never been to FYA Fest. It looks great. I only have one gripe about that festival.
What's that?
The room is way too bright.
Because they leave the lights on.
It's everything. It's like you're playing under the sun, but it's inside. It's like, why is it so bright in there? Dim it a little. I don't know. That's the only gripe I have. It looks.
I don't know. I got used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only show or fest that the lights are on like that. And the first year they did it, I was like, because that place in Tampa, the Brian Glazier Family Center that it was at, it always had a yellow tinge, and I was kind of like fighting it. And it's like without flash, it didn't matter. And then I'd have to
Yeah.
correct them all. But this place was a little better with that. So a lot easier to edit and get the photos out, which I'm still working on. I've only done like 8 bands because I just got a lot of shit going on in my personal life. You know, whenever I take off, I end up working like tons of extra hours at the salon before I go and when I come back. So plus I got this couple of house projects going on that I have to clean out. So I'm hoping to do a couple bands tonight when we finish this. Yeah. Yeah.
I like this white cabinet, but the drawers aren't white on the inside. It's like, okay.
Well, it all comes down to the details. I'm gonna figure out a way. I ordered that cabinet, but I'm gonna figure out a way to
Make it work.
paint them or fabric dye them or something.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
I'm sure you will. So what bands I could probably just guess, like Bane is probably one of your favorite bands to take photos of because they're so.
Oh yeah, I think Bane is one of everybody's favorite bands to shoot.
Dude, this I've seen that band I don't know how many times, and no matter where if there's 30 people in the room or if it's jam packed, it's like that band brings it every single time, and none of them stay still ever. It's like
Yep.
Zach is all over. Aaron, I mean, they're just all over the place constantly. What a fun,
Yeah.
you know. Tara always friggin' out of control.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really like shooting Have Heart too, or any of Pat's bands actually.
Yeah.
Just anything that has great crowd interaction.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like Bane and Terror like come to mind because I've seen them like the most, and they're all about stage dives, all about stage
Yeah.
dives. So it's just constant person after person after person. It's so much fun. Like Black and Blue last year was incredible, and the last show that I was it the last show that I saw you at when I had my daughter. Was it Bane and Terror? Was that the last show that I saw you at?
No, I saw you at maybe it was actually, maybe it was. Was that the one where somebody got knocked out during terror and they had to stop?
That was Black and Blue. That was scary. That was before my daughter. That was scary because they did the song Pain into Power, I think, and as soon as it was over, Vogel just yelled medic and everything stopped. And it was like a half hour long. And me, I'm an asshole. I'm like, damn it, this guy's like cutting into Terror's set. Like, fuck, right? But then, but then it's like the ambulances came and then all that stuff. And then they parted the whole crowd. And it was really weird because I was up on the stage and I'm off at the end of the stage trying to see what's going on with this guy. And I didn't see him until they got him up on the gurney. And all the people surrounding and all the people on the stage, it's like, and then they start wheeling him out. And for some reason, it weirded me out. He looked right at me and he gave me a thumbs up. I'm just like, thumbs up, dude. Like, I don't know who you are. And obviously we don't know each other, but he just looked right at me and he went, I was like, all right, man, cool.
There's a guy at a show recently that I wasn't at that got seriously injured. And I think he's going to, I don't know. My friend Chad had told me about it and then sent me a screenshot of his post the next day that he was like, I think he's going to be permanently disabled.
Really?
Yeah, like severe head injury. Pretty bad.
Yeah, it was like right after that Terror incident, there was like Madball came on after it, and then something happened during Madball too.
Yeah.
It wasn't as severe, but something else happened. But like, yeah, man, it's like,
kids really have to be careful, and not just the people stage diving, but the people in the crowd have to look out for them. And that's what I like at FYA. And I feel like this is hardcore too, but particularly FYA, somebody, I forget what band it was, but they made, when they were talking to the crowd and they said, make sure you catch somebody when they're diving. And I, being on stage, I see a lot of stuff and it's really nice when you see that they're like reaching out to try to make sure they don't
And
not just hit other people, but hit the floor.
The worst is when you see someone dive and then people move out of the way. It's like,
That's,
what are you
yeah.
doing, dude?
Luckily, lately, well, I'm going to be honest, outside of New York City, you don't see that too much. For some reason in New York, I think there's always those people that come that like aren't really involved in the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're just kind of there and maybe they don't know like the just the unwritten law, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I saw there was a kid at FYA that took a hard hit, dove where nobody was, and they tried to get him. They didn't. He hit the ground hard, and they immediately piled around him to protect him and dragged him off to the side.
Right.
And I'm not so sure what happened. I think he ended up being okay, but he took a pretty hard hit.
Yeah.
But people right away went to his rescue, which is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, people have to realize, at least at this, well, I can't even say at this point, I'm speaking like for myself because I'm going to be 50 years old. I've been doing this insane shit for 30 something years. You know? but it's like for like the new kids out there, it's like, first of all, yeah, of course, you have to look out for each other. But this shit happens. It's like, you know, if you're not down, if you don't understand what's going on, like, first of all, you're going to get hit. And sometimes, listen, sometimes you have the beat down crowd and you have the crowd killers. I don't like that shit. But like when you're in a regular hall, because if you're like a terror show, it's not like someone is aiming for you. You're going to get hit. You're going to, you know.
Yeah.
It just comes with the territory. I've gotten hurt several times. You know what I mean? Like my jaw still clicks from a hate breed show. And I thought I broke my back at the second to last Bane show. You know, black eyes, bruises, you know, wind knocked out of me. Shit happens, you know what I mean? But, I mean, you're probably well aware. I mean, it was way back in the day. It was probably like 94, 95. Like the kid at the Life of Agony show got killed at L'Amour's here in Brooklyn. You know, it's like, listen, it's a dangerous contact sport, man. You know, you can't be like,
yeah.
You know, it is.
You also really just can't be like, you can't be stupid either. Like years back in the late 90s at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, God, for the life of me, I can't remember what band it was. Somebody out there listening to this, maybe it was Hatebreed, to be honest. There's a good chance it could have been. But somebody jumped off the balcony there and broke their neck. And it was a big to do after the fact, like cops and ambulance, all kinds of shit, and lawyers and this and that, and trying to contact people that were there for witnesses. And, you know, I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure that person got paralyzed, but I'm not sure like legally what happened or whatever. But, you know, don't do stupid shit like that.
Right.
Because you're not only are you putting your own, like, your life is going to permanently change now, but there's people under you.
And if you're jumping off a balcony, that's hard. Like Rat Bones.
In fact, let me correct myself, because I actually think it wasn't the person that jumped that got a broken neck. I think it might have been the person they landed on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? It just pops in my head. I'm sure you've seen the footage. I was there. But every time I look at it, people are like, oh, it's so crazy what he did. The SOD reunion where Billy Milano jumps off the stack into the crowd at the old Ritz. Did you ever see that footage?
No, you'll have to send it to me.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's insane. All you got to do is go on YouTube and just write SOD, like at the Ritz or live at Budokan, because that's the recording that they did from that. But it was Morbid Angel, Agnostic Front, and an SOD reunion at the old Ritz. And I was there, one of the most packed shows I've ever been to. And SOD comes on and they start off with March of the SOD. And then it's like, and then all of a sudden I hear Billy start to sing. And it's like, where is he? And I look up and he's on top of one of the fucking stacks. And he's wearing a mask. And then he's like, yo, and then he flips into the crowd off of it. And he's not a little dude. So it's like, yeah, it was crazy that he did that. But what about the people underneath him? You know what I mean?
Did they catch him?
Yeah, they caught it. And what's crazy, when you watch the footage, you hear him he never skips a beat. He keeps on singing. Like, he doesn't stop. It's like, yo, man, it's crazy. But I was there and I witnessed that. I was like, holy shit.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I did an episode with Billy Milano at St. Vitus a few years back, and he spoke about that. He spoke about doing that, which was just
God, I
nuts.
missed that place.
The old Ritz.
No, St. Vitus.
St. Vitus. I seen some really good shows there. Obituary.
Yeah, me too.
Like Stigma's friggin' 60th birthday party with AF. Like, there was a lot of good shows in there.
Yeah.
But now it's gone. It's just like, how? Like, that place would seem like it was doing very well. You know what I mean? Like, every show that I've ever been to, there was jam packed, and they used to have like big touring acts there. It's like, I went there. It's like there's a tour bus outside. Like, Obituary is playing this little small club in Brooklyn. It was almost like the resurgence of like some kind of like L'Amour type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Awesome. Were you ever at L'Amour's back in the day? Or no?
No.
Ooh,
No.
L'Amour's and CB's back in the day.
I was at I kind of, because I got into shooting shows in 95, but I really was headed to Connecticut and PA and the Boston area a lot more than I was New York City.
Okay.
But I did go to CB's a handful of times.
Who'd you shoot there? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember shooting Bloodlet there. John Joseph's other band, Both Worlds, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I shot them there. And I can't think off the top of my head. Oh no, I
never saw Both Worlds live. I don't know.
Yeah, I shot Breakdown there.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I have some old promo pictures that I don't know why or who asked me to take them or whatever. And did they have a back room there somewhere?
It's not really a room. It was like on the left side of the stage. If you're looking at the stage at CB's and you go to the left, there was like that hallway that went down to the bathrooms. There was almost like these like little cubby holes. It wasn't a room, like didn't have doors on it. It was kind of like these little horse stable type things. And
I took these like group photos of them there.
Okay. CB.
Yeah. I'll send them to you after. But
send them over. What bands have you not shot yet that you would like to, who are still active? Anybody?
Who are still active?
Or maybe like, that could possibly have like a reunion or something.
Well, two of my favorite bands that I used to listen to like nonstop in the 90s, Refused and Chain of Strength. So Refused, Quicksand is playing with them at Brooklyn. Is it Brooklyn Paramount?
Yeah.
The new place.
When is that?
So, let me look it up because I actually
haven't seen Quicksand in years.
What? You're gonna have to go.
No joke, and I don't know why. There's certain bands people like. I never saw Motorhead, and people like, how have you never seen Motorhead? And I don't know how either. Don't know. But honestly,
I've actually never seen Motorhead.
The last time I saw Quicksand was in like the early to mid 90s.
Oh my God.
It was at Roseland, and I don't remember who they were opening for. They could have been opening for either Rage Against the Machine or maybe no, it wasn't Nirvana, because I got there as Nirvana was coming on. It might have been Rage Against the Machine that I saw them. And if that's the case, then that was in like 93, before their second record was even out, or it just came out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Long time. Yeah,
so
it was so great. Like the prime of so many amazing bands. Roseland was a great venue.
Yes.
The Pantera on the Volga Display of Power tour. with White Zombie opening in their prime, amazing. I saw Nirvana there, Rage Against the Machine a couple of times, Primus, Beastie Boys, like Cypress Hill, so many bands. Amazing.
So the Refused show there is Friday, March 21st.
Is it sold out already? Probably. Because Quicksand sells out in 3 seconds all the time.
It doesn't say it's sold out.
All right, maybe I'm gonna have to get. What is it, like a fucking Tuesday or some bullshit too?
No, Friday. It's a Friday.
All right, that could work. All right, so
Yeah.
jot that down because I haven't seen him in forever. And I had Walter on this thing, and Walter's awesome.
Yeah. I'm hoping to shoot that. Walter always comes through for me. He's awesome. He's like one of the nicest guys in hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did an episode with him. It's funny though, because I want to do another one with him because at the time I wasn't doing the Zoom thing. Like the Zoom thing came into play when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I was like running around, meeting people in places, diners, Generation Records, all this shit. And he decided that he wanted to do it in like this juice spot in Williamsburg or something like that. And we set up and we're sitting there and we're like 3 feet away from a blender. So it's like every time we're talking, it's like a blender is going off. It's super obnoxious in the episode. So I would like to do one in a nice normal capacity where it's nice and quiet. I could hear myself think, But yeah, he was super cool.
Have you been to Brooklyn Paramount yet?
I have not.
Oh, it's a really, really beautiful building.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice staff.
Right?
What?
It's pretty big.
Yeah. But it's like, I guess it was an old theater for.
Yeah. I know the building.
College.
I've seen pictures of it, but I've never been to a show there. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're having some pretty notable acts there. It's pretty cool, but I've been there twice already.
All right.
Yeah, I shot the Descendants show there, and that was awesome. And you know what? I can't remember who else.
Yeah, listen, after a while,
they do.
Shows just blend into one. It's true, but it's like we touched on it before, like the Terror and Bane show. Who else is on there? Stick to Your Guns.
Oh wait, I think I shot Quicksand there already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
But it's like now my daughter, like she was at like one of the shows, like one of Drew Stone's shows, like Thompson Street Park, which is like, yeah, I get it. But that was the show that you met my daughter. That was her first ever indoor, like legitimate hardcore show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like Aaron from Bane, like the singer, because there's 2 Aarons that people don't know in Bane. The singer was like, it was so cool because he was at the end of the show, I introduced her to him and this and that, and he was like, it's amazing that you might or might not remember this night, but for me to be a part of you having your first hardcore show means so much to me. And she was like, he was so nice. I'm like, yeah, they're nice guys. Like they might be screaming and yelling or whatever, but you don't understand. And a lot of these guys are really nice guys.
And they're regular people.
They're regular people, of course. It's like, she likes her Limp Bizkit and these giant people. And she's seen Iron Maiden and all these things. It's like, these guys aren't rock stars. You could talk to them, you could hang out with them, and you could talk with them like they're normal people. And I think she appreciates that. So at the end of the night, I'm like, did you have a good time? She's like, yeah. She's like, but I think I would have had a better time if I was able to participate. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like, you want to start stage diving, like, during Terror and shit? She's like, yeah, I think that'll be fun. I'm like, oh, no.
No.
Jesus Christ. But then again, she's 15, so it's like I started when I was like 14. But then again, she's my daughter, so it's like,
yep.
God, I just wanted to participate more. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's killing me. But now she's like, yo, let me know when there's more hardcore shows. I'm like, I'll let you know. You just got to bring your ass to my house and we'll go. And she lives with her mom in Jersey. I get it whenever I want. But you just come over and we'll go to shows if you want to go. Like, I'm down. Like, I'll bring you to whatever shows you want.
Yep.
I'd rather listen to that kind of stuff than all this radio play nonsense, talking about, asses, blah, 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 and stupid, dumb shit. Work and all this bullshit. I'd rather you stage dive than twerk. I'll tell you that. That's 100%. So what else is going on with you? And, oh yeah, let's get back to how come. Why wouldn't you do a book, or what's holding you back from doing a book? You don't even know.
I don't even know. You're right. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like trying to think. Do I have enough pictures that are like interesting to people to buy a book? Like I don't even know where to begin.
You're of course, like anybody who is creative in whatever they do, you're your own biggest critic, and that goes without saying. But you have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of photos throughout the years.
I do.
So I'm sure you could easily, if you don't think about it too much and critique yourself too much, I'm sure that you can pick a book's worth of photos.
I'm sure I could.
And I'm sure that if you put it together and it's nicely done, I'm sure they would sell like hotcakes. I'd buy one.
Where do I begin then?
Well,
Mr. doing his own book.
well, I just wrote my whole life story in chronological order. He's breaking it into chapters. See, because that's where I thought too. I'm like, where do I begin? So I had a conversation with him before I started writing, and he's just like, just write chronological, and then later on, if we want to take like, which will probably happen, I can't say for sure yet, but like take like a big life-changing event that might have happened later on in my life, and take a portion of that story and put it right in the beginning, and tell some of it to get someone's attention, and then go in reverse, like a Tarantino film, and then go in reverse back to, when I was a kid and coming up, and then later on when that really all that happens, tell the whole story. So things might get switched around and whatever. So he basically told me to write chronological, and then he's the one that's breaking it down into chapters, because kind of like, I guess what you're saying is, where do I begin? I would overthink it. I wouldn't know exactly where to end certain chapters. Like, okay, that's like, dude, that's your job. I don't know. Like, here's my whole life story, and do what you want. Like, he's an editor for 50 years, and he's worked with a million different people, Stephen King, James Patterson, all these people. So whatever you're suggesting, I'm going to go with, because you're the expert here. Do whatever, like, just, if there's anything that I need to like go back into or get more deep into or whatever, then let me know. But the format won't be mine, but every single word on those pages will be my words. You know what I mean?
And do you have to pay him to do that, or how does that work? Or does he get a portion of your sales? Or
no, we came up with, he's my friend Dominic's father-in-law, which just so happened to be a coincidence. I've told this before, I was going to write a book, and I wrote it on Facebook, and my friend Dom called me up, and he's like, I'll introduce you to my father-in-law. Who is your father-in-law? Turns out it's this guy who's well respected, and this is his career since 1969. So this is his job. And so he took a liking to me because he's originally from Brooklyn, and he hears my stupid accent. So, he took a liking to me, and he lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, and this, that, and the other thing. So me also being a friend of his son-in-law, he worked out a deal with me. I signed a contract with him. I'm like, what I'm paying him, as opposed to the regular Joe Schmo on the street that doesn't know him or his son-in-law, it's like a quarter of what he would charge anybody. So it's going to be like in 3 different payments. I already paid him a chunk, and then once he's done with a certain portion, then it'll be another chunk and another chunk, and then I'll be done. But it's really nothing insane. I mean, it's a few $1,000s, but it's nothing like, oh my God, like I have to like, sell off anything. You know what I mean? But because I got lucky, it's like I'm fortunate in that regard. But we signed the contract where he's basically my subcontractor. I'm hiring him to edit my book, period. But He gets no royalties. If it gets published, he gets no royalties, none of that. His job is to edit my book so that it's in book form and ready to be published. That's it. But as a little bonus, because I'm friends with his son-in-law and me and him became friendly, he asked me, he's like, can you make it out to Silver Spring, Maryland? I was like, yeah, just give me a couple of days notice and I can make it out there, no problem. He's like, when this book is completely done and we're both 100% satisfied that this is the final copy and we're happy with this and it's not going to get any better, then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go with him personally, and we're going to go to the publication to the publication houses and pitch my book. And that's not like that's for free. Like that's added in because I'm friends with my son-in-law, which is huge because he knows everybody. So you know what I mean? I don't know how much, if it all boils down to money. So, you know, with printing and how much they think they could, you know, all that business stuff. I don't know how much that's going to get, you know. You can't ask somebody for a favor, and next thing you know, they're putting in, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars into putting into a book and publishing and advertising, all that stuff off of a favor. It's got to be good. But he's been saying that he feels, because he's been doing this for 100 years, he feels that I have something that will absolutely get picked up. So if it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine too, because I didn't go into it looking to become this best-selling author bullshit, like at all. I just did it in order to get all of my shit on paper. And then it just so happened that my friend's father is an editor. It just happened like that. It wasn't like I was looking to publish a book, because I wasn't. It was just basically, I think I'm just going to write everything down. And I did. And that's how it happened, completely organically and by chance. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, but how would it work with a photo book? I don't know, because my stuff will probably have, like, you know, it'll have, like, you know, the 5, 6, 8 pages in the middle of pictures and whatever, but it's not going to be laid out like a photography book. You know, mine's more like a memoir, so it's you know, so. But I think that you gotta be crazy if you don't, because you would be able to do it in a heartbeat.
And I am very organized. If I could take my computer in the other room and show you, but it's a mess right now. Right. But I have all my, from pre-digital, all boxed, all my prints in chronological order, which makes it a little difficult when I'm trying to look for each band. But during COVID, I actually I had gotten a negative scanner and I did scan some old photos, and I also have this app on my phone that scans them. I mean, it's good for like Instagram and stuff. Yeah. So I did I have an idea of who I shot when, just from like thumbing through them again, over and over again, multiple times during COVID. But I have a friend that has offered to scan my old negatives for me. Yeah. It would be interesting, because way back when I had a photo, when I used to print them, I would only print, you know, so many from the show. So I have all these other photos from each show that I really have no idea. I mean,
you probably have some
and that was before I would take them to, say, after I finished college. Because during college, when I was running the darkroom, I would develop my own film, and I would look, and I just pick a few and make prints. And so those are some of the older prints you see me posting now, like the old Earth Crisis, One King Down, Strife, you know, stuff like that. But I still have, like, you know, 2-3 rolls worth of other pictures from those shows.
Sure. You probably have some gems in there that you don't even realize.
They're in just like a negative binder. So I could send him that binder. That would be awesome. But as far after college, I started bringing them to Walmart 1 hour photo, because I had a friend that worked there and would do them for super cheap. And I would get doubles printed, and I'd always give the band the doubles. I had this cheesy little stamp with my name on it. not that long ago, somebody sent me a message. I just found some photos you took of me when your name was stamped on the back of them. See? So
That's cool though. That's awesome.
but yeah, so I have the prints from that point forward. But again, as far as digital goes, I had a scanner back then and I used to scan them only at 72 DPI just because computers weren't, we didn't have big hard drives and yada yada.
Yeah.
So just to put them on my website or social media, I was just starting then. So again, I only have a few photos from each show scanned, like at max maybe 10.
Right.
So I started looking through when I had to find photos from the Snapcase or for the Snapcase book. That's what I actually got the negative scanner for. I couldn't believe some of the other photos I had. I was like, oh shit, like, look at this.
Yeah.
I have like I didn't realize I shot Shark Attack's first show ever. So like I scanned a whole bunch and sent them off to them. And then I had like an old mouthpiece show that
they were probably because who else shot their first ever show besides you? Maybe nobody.
I don't think of anybody seeing anybody there. But also Mouthpiece played that show and I didn't even remember that at all. So that was pretty awesome. So I had some pretty good gems from there. So I scanned a few of those. But yeah, so it would be really fun to go through and see all the rest of the ones that I didn't really star. You know what I mean?
And then maybe when you go through all that stuff, it'll put a flame under your ass to do your book.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, well, I didn't think I would have enough for anything really good, but these right here, all right, maybe that'll spark something.
Yeah, and
photographers that have books out, there's no reason why you can't.
I shot Bad Religion once at the Stone Pony, and I can't say I really shot them. Like I snuck my camera in, like I don't even remember how, under my baggy pants or something from back then.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble because I was sitting on the bar because I'm like only 5 feet tall, so I couldn't get up front through the crowd. So I was sitting on the bar taking pictures, and after I developed them, I only scanned one photo, and I'm not sure if that's because only one came out,
right,
or if I just picked one to do then. So I would love to find those. But anyhow, I got kicked out because I kept trying to shoot and I didn't have permission or whatever. I definitely got kicked out from that show.
Now everybody's taking pictures with their phone. Everyone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like you can't stop somebody from taking pictures or video from even like big concerts. It was really funny because there was a show. I actually think that at Bethel there was a tour that went through the summer before last, and I think it was Bob Dylan was a headliner. And I think it was Dylan that didn't want anybody to shoot him with any device. And so it sucked because I have a lot of clients that volunteer there, like security and seat, that like ushers and such. And they were instructed that if they find anybody trying to video it with their phones, to make them put their phones away. How are you going to do that with like 10,000 people or however many people they hold? Because I'm pretty sure that was a close to sold out show there.
Of course.
Like, how are you going to do that? So that was one of the first shows I was able to actually get a legitimate photo request in, and it got denied because they weren't allowing anybody, not even nobody, like not even for, the Record, the local newspaper, not even the staff photographer.
Really?
There's a staff photographer. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, they wouldn't even allow that. So how are you going to keep people from doing that?
Yeah, it's just
like it kind of made me want to go and just take pictures with my phone just so I could.
Yeah.
Actually, funny story. I went with a friend of mine, Erica, to see Sting there once. This was like before COVID, maybe like 1 or 2 years before COVID. And at the time, I think we got a great deal. We got second row seats, almost not in the center section, but right to the on the inner part of the section right over from the center. So we're pretty close to center, second row, right on the end of the aisle. And we swapped seats halfway through the set. Anyhow, I had, like whatever the newest iPhone was then. My pictures and videos came out great. It was amazing because I was so close. The lighting is awesome there. They actually looked like I had my camera there. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And Sting is just an amazing performer. His son came out with him and did a couple songs. It was such a great show, and it was so awesome to be so close.
Yeah.
At a venue like that.
Yeah. I'd never seen Sting live.
Yeah, that was my first and only time. And I would definitely go see him again. And I think that I'm going to say only my husband's locked out. But there's the dog. I made it almost through this whole thing without the dog barking. But I think that I paid around $300 for those second row seats. And I don't think that's bad at all for that. Hold on one sec.
No problem. I'll just shout out my sponsor real quick. Generation Records. Follow them on Instagram at Generation Records. 210. They're located.
Turkeys, Budweiser, and vitamin.
They're located at 210 Thompson Street in the West Village here in New York City. They've been around since the early 90s. One of the greatest.
You like vitamin water? I get the Budweiser recommend.
So
yeah, that's a.
So support Generation Records.
Yeah, chill out, baby.
Yes. Shout out to Grimaldi and Generation Records.
Well, I'm pretty much done.
I
want to hook up the trailer before it gets frozen and anything because it's supposed to be like 10 degrees in the morning.
Oh my God, look at how much snow we have.
On Instagram, relatively unscathed. And yeah, the Delta Bravo Urban Exploration Team on Instagram at Delta Bravo Urbex Team. You saw the Drew Stone show. Thanks again to Drew Stone for having me on last week. What else is there? Donate to the Food Colas GoFundMe.
Okay, I'm coming back.
All right, very good. Very good.
Here I am.
There you are. Yeah, I just shouted out my little sponsors and blah 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 blah. Perfect time. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So when we started this, I think we had about 1.5 inches of snow.
Okay.
There's probably 5 inches on my deck now.
Nice.
And so even though I have 2 snow blowers, my husband likes to shovel. I don't know why. And I have a pretty big driveway. As far as it's 2 cars wide and about 3 cars wide by the house, because we have a little cove that's inset on the side with the side door to the garage, and it's maybe like 5 or 6 cars long.
Okay.
And he likes to shovel all that.
All right.
So that's what he's doing right now.
Have at it.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I don't have no idea. It's snowing. I guess maybe there's I don't know, 1 inch maybe on some cars or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So very cool. Why don't you shout out all of your Instagram stuff and all your social media stuff and anything that you want to tell the youth about anything or anything that's coming up with you or anything you want to promote. Hopefully sooner rather than later you'll come back on here and you'll be promoting and you'll be telling me about your book that's in the works.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to start digging out after my house renovations. I'm going to start digging out some of my old photos. I actually have to empty that closet out, so maybe that would be a good time.
See?
To get on that.
If I can write a book on who the hell am I, you know what I mean? People have life story and memoir things all over the place. I don't give a shit. I throw mine out there. Why not? If I can write a book and I'm a half an idiot, you already have the material.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you already have the book. You just need to organize it. And you said earlier that you're an organized person. So
Yes.
do it. Just do it.
Yeah. So most of my work is on my Instagram, which is Danielle Dombrowski Photography, all one word.
Yeah.
My Facebook, I kind of just use for more personal shit now. But I actually, one thing we didn't touch on is I shoot weddings too. I do a few a year, and I just did my first website all by myself.
Nice.
Well, it's not my first website. Let me rephrase that. It's the first one I did by myself.
Okay.
So that's daniellesweddinggallery.com if anybody wants to check out the other side of my photography. That would be awesome. And there is an Instagram for it too. Danielle's Wedding Photos.
Okay.
And if you want to check out my hair work, the salon Instagram is Hair Design by Danielle 845.
Which is the area code?
Which is the area code, because when I made an Instagram, somebody out in some other random state somewhere had Hair Design by Danielle already. So,
well,
you know,
keep it,
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'll see you at a show. I'm going to look into that quicksand show for sure. You don't make it out to Long Island very often, do you? There's a great show coming up. It's not until Sunday, April 6th, though. But it's nice, though. It's like nicer weather and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's Point Blank, Fire is Murder, Distress, Violent Way, Murphy's Law, Agnostic Front at the Amityville Music Hall, which I will definitely do.
Oh, maybe I'll be able to make that out. You know what? I just,
it's a Sunday.
Little fun fact.
It's going to be a late night, though. It's a Sunday, and I know you're a psycho, and you drive all the way down from upstate, and you wind up driving all the way back later on. So you're going to wind up getting it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. So maybe you should take off on Monday. I
actually think that shows have to be over by 11 there, right?
Yeah, all right. So you'll get home at like 1.
Yeah, because when you go on late like that, it's maximum 2 hours for me.
Yeah.
At that time of night, maybe 2.5 to get there on a Sunday.
Right.
But yeah, I'll try to hook up with some friends to go there.
Yeah.
But I just bought tickets for, I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but my favorite band in the world is Led Zeppelin. Has been my whole life. My parents went to a concert when they were 6 months pregnant with me. I want to say it was at the Garden. I do know that because I got them a bootleg copy of an audio from that exact show when my mom sent me a picture of the tickets, because she still has her tickets from it. Nice. But there is a special coming out in IMAX theaters. I think it's called The Making of Led Zeppelin. I just found out about it.
I've heard about it.
Yeah. So it's only playing on select dates upstate, and it's playing at the IMAX at the Palisades, which is like maybe 50-minute drive for me. Okay. So with my schedule at the salon, I work late during the week, and Fridays are always like, who wants to go after work and deal with traffic and shit? So I bought Saturday tickets, and I kept thinking to myself, so it's February 7th. That date sounds familiar. But I have a note in my phone with all my shows listed, and I looked, and I didn't put anything in there. So I was like, cool. So I buy the tickets the other day, and about an hour later, I log on to Instagram, and boom, there was the Strife show, a flyer for it in Jersey that I was going to go shoot. And I was like, mother effer.
Yeah.
So of course my husband's like, well, just get a refund from, because you can do that with AMC. And I was like, no, sorry, Strife, but I've shot you a few times already.
Right. And
I have not seen this Led Zeppelin making. And if it was going to be in the theater for a few weeks, I would change the date.
Sure.
But yeah.
No, that's something that's like sentimental to you. That's something that's
yes.
Yeah. So the Stripe show.
And I had already talked to my aunt and uncle who live in Jersey, and like that's kind of a halfway point. Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna meet with them for dinner first. So I made all these plans. I was really bummed, and I'm like, God damn it! Does that mean I'm an adult now?
Yes.
Like, am I officially an adult now?
Yeah, but it's okay. No, you are an adult. You are
Ugh.
you do your thing. You take photographs for nothing. You do all this traveling. You're a successful person. You own you own your own house. You have an awesome car, which I don't blame you that you don't bring into the city. You know,
That's because I don't have kids, and I do bring it into the city.
very rare. I saw it like once, but still. But yeah, it's
Yeah, that was crazy. I drove it to that wherever that spot was in Brooklyn, and I was
yeah.
like,
Well,
good thing
you
I
shot.
can look. I have a locator on my app, and I kept looking at it like every half hour. Is my fucking
Yeah.
car still there?
Yeah.
It better be.
Yeah, that's right. You shot the Eddie Leeway tribute show that I did, which
Yes,
thank you for that. That was awesome. Yeah.
that was a really, really nice show you put together for him.
Yeah, I figured, you know what, like I haven't booked a show in like 6 years or something like that, and I'm like, people are like, oh, you know, you should book shows again. I'm like, I don't know about that. But if something like, you know, unfortunate that happens and it's like bigger than the band's playing, you know what I mean? If it's something
Yeah,
like, you know, I gave Eddie's sisters a nice amount of money to help them. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't
yeah,
anything else. So if it's something like that, which I hope doesn't happen, you know, then I'll put something together if I feel like I can help somebody in some way. But like to
yeah.
book shows and everything, like I don't do it. All those shows that I did, I never did it for any money. I never put a dime in my pocket for any of it. I did it for fun. I did it as a, you know, just let's all get together and have fun at the Lucky 13 and blah blah blah. But I have so much other shit going on. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
work and my daughter, and I go on these crazy road trips, and you know I'm busy. I'm busy. I keep myself busy constantly. So I
Me
don't,
too.
yeah, I'm always up to, like I have like this coming week, it's like I'm recording like 4 podcasts, and I'm going to Virginia this
Nice.
weekend, and like next weekend, like I took off on Friday. I'm leaving Thursday. I'm going all the way down to Langley Air Force Base to go see an old Air Force buddy of mine retire. He was in the service for 30 years. Haven't seen him since like 96. You know, so
It's crazy to me that
it's so
people
nuts.
that we know now, because I'm 47, you're 50,
I'm 49.
are retiring.
I'm 49.
Okay, well, you said 50 before.
I'm gonna be 49.
So I can't believe that I actually know so many people that are retiring recently, and I feel like I'm nowhere near that. Yes, I've owned my salon for 21 years. This is my 30th year of doing hair professionally, like licensed, but I did my first haircut when I was 12. So if you factor that in, 35 years, I'm nowhere monetarily wise, nowhere near retiring. And that very well could be because of all the shit I have around my house and I'm trying to clean out now.
Yeah. But it's all right. Listen, you're able to do that. And
Yeah.
you did it.
And my camera gear.
Yeah.
And the car.
Yeah. But it's okay.
And the pets. I have 5 pets.
Yeah. Well, you know
and they
what?
all just got sick recently.
Oh, great.
And they were all on medication. Yeah, my God. All 5 of them, the 4 cats and the dog, were all sick because we got the 5th cat, came into the household, didn't know that it had some kind of parasite, and he spread it to the rest of them, and they all had diarrhea. Yeah, my 4th pet in line, Slayer, he's a black cat. Where is he? He looks like a panther. He's so awesome. But he was the sickest out of all of them. I mean, massive diarrhea all over the house. The poor cat. And he stopped eating, drinking, everything. But anyhow, that kind of shit costs a lot of money. So, but I'm not going to complain because I do what I need to do to take care of my animals. They're like my kids. I absolutely love them.
Good for you.
First thing I do when I get up and first thing I do when I get home from work, take care of my babies.
There you go.
I'm actually surprised that none of them popped in and made a cameo. There's my, if you see right there on the cat tower, that's Ozzy.
Okay.
He's a snow Bengal.
Nice.
He's the only one that we got from a breeder. Okay. Other than that, they're all rescues.
Nice.
But yeah, he's got quite an attitude. He lives up to his name. Yeah, we have all metal names. The
Ozzy,
dog is
Slayer.
Lita. Ozzy Slayer / the newest kitten is Axel, and the dog is Lita after Lita Ford.
Okay. Where's Stigma?
Yeah, actually, that was in the running, and then when that didn't win over with the husband because he's not really knowledgeable about hardcore. I mean, he knows a lot of the bands because of me, and he's really cool about like he's into more mainstream metal, but he doesn't know like their names. But when Stigma didn't go, he said I tried for Vinny. I'm like, come on, Vinny's cool. Vinny's a cute name.
Yeah.
You know, come on, my
Names for
family's
animals
mostly
are great.
Italian. I'm like, come on. But we narrowed it down to Axel or Lane after Lane Staley was an option too. But if we ever get another female, now that we have an Axel, as stupid as this sounds, we're gonna name it Rose after Axel Rose.
Of course you are.
Come here, little Axel. Come here.
Nice.
Wait, you got to see this little guy. He's so freaking cute. Come here, buddy. This is my little Axel. This is Axel.
Nice. Nice little panther too. Axel. You.
Hey, hi.
Very cool.
He's so cuddly. Look at him. He's my little baby.
Nice. Well, I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad we finally did this.
I know.
Yeah. See,
A couple months in the making.
We're just gonna shoot the shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. So.
Yeah.
So basically, we got it down. So yeah, July of 2009 was when we first met. So how long do we know each other now? Bad.
16 years.
Go figure. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
About that. Yeah. Just about.
Because I claimed that I was smart at the beginning of this, so I could do math.
I never claimed to be smart, so therefore I could pawn it off to you.
No, I was. I
Right.
was.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up with it.
Well, neither of us are getting younger.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I really think it's years of medications that I've been on since I got sick. So, which I actually keep getting an alarm that I started a new biologic and I had 3 infusions for a loading dose. And today I have to take my first home injection. And it's like this friggin' contraption I've never seen. I've been on other home injections before, and this is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So I got to go. But it said in the instructions, it has to sit out for an hour before you do it. Otherwise, it's not effective. But now I have to go watch an instructional video on YouTube on how to do it.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yep. Fun times.
Yeah. Oof. Well,
yeah.
Well, listen, this was awesome. You're a sweetheart. Always good to see you, especially in person. And yeah, I will see you in real life sooner rather than later, hopefully. And I'll put this out in a couple of days. You'll know. I'll text you. I'll let you know. You'll know that it's everywhere. And then
And let me just ask anybody that's listening, if you think or have an opinion on me doing a book, shoot me a message and let me know. Because if there's actually interest in it, then I might, maybe start working on it soon.
Okay. You know what I'll do when I put it out? I'll actually put that in the thing too.
Awesome.
Don't worry, I got you. Awesome.
All right.
Danielle, thank you so much for your time. Go do what you got to do. And
yes.
Yeah, I will. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Like I said, we'll do another one when your book is in the works, and we'll talk about that. How far you're getting.
All right.
All right.
Sounds great.
Be safe. Go help your husband shovel. Not.
No.
Awesome. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye.